Is the screen visible?
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No, sir.
Am I visible?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right. Audible? Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well after a long, long time. All right. So I hope you guys are enjoying your examinations. Uh, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Yes. So, how was your paper? Reasonably good. Expected. All right. Tell me something which I have not heard. Don't forget, I'm a student of CAPS. All right. So, at the end of the day, I've learned the same phrases which you guys are narrating now. Anyway, so irrespective of whether it was good, bad, I don't care. Neither should you, because you can't go ahead and change anything. All right. My simple logic to each one of you: if you've got the question paper home, biggest crime. If you've sat and analyzed to check if you've got more than 40, second biggest crime. All right. Majority of you sitting here have already done all this analysis. First one you've done, good, bad, I don't really care. Going forward, if you're doing this, one step close to danger. Because those of you who've done this entire exercise of getting 40, not getting 40, whether you like it or not, just in case if you haven't got 40 now, in your as per your analysis, which might not even be right, all right, there's a high possibility that you'll end up impacting your next paper. I'm not sure how many of you can make sense out of it. All right. My simple funda for each one of you for the next couple of papers: tear the paper immediately after you get out of the examination hall. Sir, all the possible religious thoughts which you can get along with it. All right. With due respect to all your possible thoughts, I don't care. Tear the paper then and there. Jai Mata Di. Whatever has to happen will happen. I hope I'm making sense to each one of you. All right. I repeat, if you've sat and analyzed if you've got more than 40 or not, if you've sailed through the paper, if you have done this, it's wrong. It's wrong. All right. Having said that, what are we doing here for the next 1 hour? We are going to look into some important areas which you will have to focus for the next 2-3 days, which you have. How many? When's your next examination? Day after tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you have exactly, if you were to ask me, you have 2 days. All right. Decent amount of 1.5 day and all that calculation, which you can sit and do later. According to me, simple 1.5 day you have. All right. You can peacefully go ahead, complete the entire syllabus, at the same time focus on important areas. According to me, doable. All right. So let's jump into the session directly. Insist you to keep your cameras on. There's a reason. By now, at least you should have got to know that. Let me know if you can see the screen. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So as we mentioned, refresh to relax. Please calm down. First thing, each one of you, for the next 1 hour, you're not going to get panicked. Whether you remember something, if you don't remember something, don't get panicked. That's the whole objective of spending 1 hour now, so that you have 1.5 days to cover the important topics. All right. So let's get started with the first topic. Gentle reminders. All right. Why am I saying gentle reminders goes unsaid? Because this is going to be something which we have discussed earlier. I'm just going to emphasize on those pointers once again. All right. Couple of this you might have come across, couple of this you might not have. So pay attention. Let's get started. Diksha, there or almost there? So first thing, write in points. All right. Theory paper. So are we going to sit and write paragraphs? Answer is no. Nobody sitting here is going to answer any question in paragraph. First point. Clear, everyone? Second, sir, how do we go about with best foot forward? What are you going to write? I will spend some time in today's session immediately after these general points. All right. So how do you approach the paper? We will look at it. Sleep well. Please don't do the blunder of sleeping for 4 hours, 4.5 hours, 5 hours on the day of examination or on the day before examination. I have narrated my story several times. Most of you might not even be interested in listening to it. My whole point is you don't become a victim of your own mistake. Ensure you sleep enough for 6 hours at least, and the rest is as per your capacity. Shankar, I've just started. All right. So doesn't mean that you'll sleep now. The whole point that I'm trying to make is ensure that you take care of your sleep. Please don't ruin it. It's a theory paper. All right. Do not compromise on your sleep. I've repeated myself. Write a page with the pen which you intend to use. I'm not sure how many of you have done this for your accounts examination. If you didn't, ensure you do it for your law paper. All right. Ensure you're not using a new fresh pen in the examination hall. Does it have an impact? It does. Now, blindly follow whatever we are talking. Till now, you had all the chances to experiment. Now you don't experiment anything new. All right. Next. Write a page, already done. Carry water. Please carry lemonade. That'll keep you calm. Dispose the question paper immediately after examination. I am telling this out of my own experience. CA final, entire LLB, I have never got question paper home. What will I even do with it? Until and unless I want to really sell Bhel Puri in it, I don't think I can do anything out of it. Please do not get the answers question paper once again home. All right. You might take it lightly. That's your personal choice. Attitude matters. This one, I want to spend some time. Guys, however good or however bad the question paper is, remember, it's not just for you. It's for the entire lakhs of students who are writing intermediate paper. So now there are two ways of seeing this. When you get the question paper within 15 minutes, you'll get to know, all right, whether I'm able to crack this or not. If you're able to crack it, then nothing else can be asked. If you think the paper is tricky, please start telling yourself, it's not just for me, it's for everybody. And now all the lakhs of them cannot fail. I hope I'm making sense. Everybody cannot fail. So here comes your negative motivation. Push yourself slowly, point by point, mark by mark. What are you going to do? Just tell yourself, I will do it. You will not know the entire answer, but you will know something about the answer. Go ahead, approach it. All right. We don't want 100 on 100. Even if you get 100 on 100, probably I will frame your photos. All right. I don't want you to get 100 on 100. My objective is very simple. 98, 99 is good enough. All right. So for that, start pushing slowly. Am I making sense, everyone? The paper cannot be, entire 100 marks cannot be difficult. Making sense? Because the entire 100 marks is difficult, then what will ICI do at CA final registration stage? They need students for that as well. I hope I'm making sense, everyone. All right. So please calm down. In the first 15 minutes, you don't come to a conclusion that I don't know anything. If you do this blunder, you will carry the image throughout the 3 hours. That impression will be there and you will stop thinking. Don't do this mistake. Am I making sense? Everyone there in the session? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Next. Don't panic. I've already mentioned, guys, irrespective of whatever the situation is, calm down. You will be able to sail through. Don't assume that you will not know the answer even before reading the question. Majority of us suffer from this problem. All right. Suppose the question is about Nidhi company. The moment you heard about Nidhi company, already you've got jitters. All right. The question might be as simple as, is Companies Act applicable to Nidhi company? You don't assume that you don't know until and unless you read the question twice and coming to a conclusion. I hope I'm making sense. All right. And on purpose, they will ask these kind of questions where people end up panicking. Don't do this mistake. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. Next, no wrong sections. Please, for God's sake, do not attempt writing wrong sections. Should we write section numbers? 100% yes. If I know the section number, then I'm going to write section 2 clause 68 of the Companies Act defines so and so. If I don't know the section number, I will write as per the Companies Act. If I don't know worst case scenario, I will write as per the provision of law. But do not attempt writing wrong section numbers. Sleeping? Next.
No, sir.
Don't watch others in the examination hall. Majority of us do this mistake. I don't think any capsite sitting here would be doing this blunder at least, because Shetty sir has trained us really well not to get carried away in the examination hall. Time for 4 marks and 2 marks cannot be same. One of the biggest problem in law paper. All right. One of the biggest problem in law paper. You don't know to time your answers. And if you don't know how to time your answers, you will come out saying, I didn't complete the paper. According to me, if you don't prepare and still you go for the examination, end up writing for 60, 70 marks, I'm more than happy. You prepare, but not completing the paper is a crime. because this just shows that you have not managed your time well. So what should I do, sir? Very simple, guys. If it is a 4 marker, I am going to write 6 points there. If it is a 2 marker, I'm going to write 4 points. Nothing beyond this. All right. This will ensure that you do not fill up pages just for the sake of it. The amount of time which you spend for 4 marks cannot be equal to the amount of time which you spend for 2 marks. Rishika, there? Can I continue?
Yes.
Next. All right. Try again, relationship for marks and length. I've already spoken. Try different presentation, tables, charts, all of those are acceptable. No problem at all. So suppose if there is a question, differentiate or distinguish between partnership and LLP, which will not be a case. But suppose if you're lucky enough and if they ask some simple questions, you don't have to write paragraphs. Try some other formats. Is it acceptable in a law paper? It is acceptable in a law paper. Doesn't mean every answer of yours has to be in charts. All right. No 2 arrow marks, 3 arrow marks for everything possible, but wherever possible, wherever you think it can make sense, go ahead. There's no problem at all. Clear, everyone? Can I continue? Next. I come to the entire law paper. We will see what needs to be done. All right. So how do you write the answers? The first point, which I want to spend enough time on this as well. How do you start the answers? 2 types of question: case study and your direct questions on the topics. All right. If it is a case study, we know our pattern: facts of the case, provision of law, analysis, conclusion. Suppose I'm talking about a scenario where you have absolutely no time. In that case, club your analysis and conclusion. Or I'm sorry, rather club your provision of law and analysis. I repeat. If you have time, or in the first 1.5 hours that you're going to spend, ensure you write facts of the case, provision of law, analysis, conclusion. Decent format, which all of us are aware of. Suppose in examination, you don't have time at all. In that case, club analysis, provision of law, or rather provision of law, analysis together and write your answers. Conclusion, I repeat, cannot be more than 1 sentence. If you're writing conclusion for paragraphs together, 100% you're wasting your time because you've already covered paragraphs in your analysis. Am I making sense? Can I continue? Yes. Next. Other laws. All right. Please pay attention in the next 1.5 days to ensure your other laws are strong enough. It is going to be your make it or break it. Reason being, entire company law, you may or may not be able to finish. You may or may not be able to finish the entire company law. But if you have finished your entire other laws, remember you have guaranteed yourself 30 marks. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. So how do we approach? My simple funda, something that we have done during the sessions as well. 3 chapters of Companies Act, immediately switch 1 chapter of other laws. 3 chapters of Companies Act, 1 chapter of other law. Reason, it maintains balance. It will ensure your balance is maintained. I hope I'm clear. Worst case, suppose you're left with another 3 or 4 hours and you have 2 chapters of Companies Act and 1 chapter of other law. Which one are you going to do? First finish the other law. First finish the other law. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. Clear? Next. Language. This is not WhatsApp. This is not Instagram DMs where you will use language like says, tells, no nonsense. 2 important words which we'll use: states, provides. Companies Act states, your General Clauses Act provides. Section 2 clause 45 gives so and so. Section 2 clause 71 talks about so and so. All right. Instead of using the language talks, tells, we will use language like states, provides. Clear, everyone? Don't you think we've spoken about all this earlier? That's why I call it as general reminders. All right, because I might have touched upon all of these. Next, distinguish between the case studies and direct questions. Please ensure when you're writing the answers, all right, if it is a case study, only then we will follow a pattern of facts of the case, provision and analysis and conclusion. All right, if it is a direct question, straight to the point, 4 pointers you're going to answer and close the topic. Don't beat around the bush. If you don't know the answer in the first 1.5 hours, I'm not going to beat around the bush. How will you use your 3 hours? We will spend time. Don't worry. Before that, let's cover up a couple of other topics. Answer the first question best. I will discuss a couple of points here. All right. Fresh page per question policy. I know that each one of you know By now, you've written so many mock exams. Every sub question is going to be in a new page. Now, unfortunately, I have been telling this from past more than half a decade, but still students end up doing the same mistake. They want to save paper during those 3 hours. We have enough CAPS Foundation projects. You be a part of those. During examination, don't mess up with the evaluator. If the evaluator is cranky, thank God I'm not one of those. All right. So if the evaluator is cranky, he will ensure that he will cut marks or he will not give attention to the answers which you have written. Don't make his life difficult. Every answer in a new page. All right. So how do I write 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D? I don't know 1C. Leave that one page, come later and write. We are not in a rush to do it right away. We will do it later. All right. But leave that entire page. Don't leave half a page and later on you know the entire answer. You will not be able to write it in that half a page. I hope I'm making sense, everyone. Can I continue? All right. Next.
Yes.
No point in thinking now, this faculty asked us to do this, that, it's done. All right. Now, I might have asked 1,000 things to do. Did you do? You didn't. Did I ever do 1,000 things which my faculties would have told me to do? I didn't do. All right. It's natural. It's normal. Now you don't sit and think about Mehul sir has asked us to do this, do that. Now you cannot change what has been done. Now all that you can do is using your 1.5 days judiciously. Clear, everyone? One last point. Sir might have already spoken about it. No stupid superstitious be carried out. All right. I don't know why am I even emphasizing this, but it's pretty clear. Please don't carry unnecessary, irrelevant thoughts in your mind when you are about to step outside your house, something happens and blah, 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 blah. Don't get carried away. All right. Why am I telling this? Because fortunately or unfortunately, I have another CA at home. All right. And she was a little towards all of those. She got inclined and she had an issue in her paper because she got carried away. All right. What happened? God's grace. Let's not bother about all of that. The whole point is, please do not carry unnecessary beliefs. Next. Straight away getting into your paper now. Sit straight, close all your books and listen to me. Sleepy?
No.
Now if you're sleepy, then God alone can save you. Paper is divided into 2 parts. All right. 70 marks descriptive, 30 marks MCQ. Am I clear, everyone, there in the session? Now, MCQ need not be only a 1 marker. It could be a 2 marker as well. All right. So please ensure when do you write your MCQs. All right. What is the strategy which Shetty sir might have already discussed? All right. I will once again spend some time here. For law, MCQs, according to me, don't attempt it at the first stage itself. You write your descriptive answers for an hour. For 1 hour, you spend enough time and write whatever descriptive answers you can. Half an hour, you dedicate only for MCQs. This saves your 30 marks. All that you're going to do is Rangoli competition. All right. So is 30 minutes equivalent or equal enough for your 30 marks of MCQ? More than enough. According to me, 30 minutes is also extremely high. Please do not give yourself more than 20 minutes. I repeat, first 1 hour, when you're going to write your answers, please continue, start off with your descriptive answers. No problem at all. Whichever is the best answer that you know, start off with it. After 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes, that 20 minutes which you're going to spend is only for MCQs. Sir, is 20 minutes enough for writing a 30 marker MCQ? 100% yes. Because you're not writing any descriptive answers there. You're just going to tick answers and come back home. Am I making sense? Everyone there in the session? All right. So now what happens is you have finished 1 hour of descriptive answers. Suppose you have at least written for 50 or 20 marks in the last 1 hour. In the next 20 minutes, you've already written for another 30 marks. In 1 hour, 20 minutes, you've already finished 50 marks of your paper. 50% of your paper is done. Now, what will happen with this? At least you will be at peace that I've written half of the paper. I'm left with another half, which I can peacefully write now. I have 1 hour, 40 minutes for this. Clear, everyone? Making sense? All right. Now, in the first 1 hour, how much are you going to attempt? ensure that you finish 2 full-fledged questions. Ensure that you finish 2 full-fledged questions in the first 1 hour. Possible? 100% possible. Am I clear, everyone, there in the session? In the first 1 hour, if you can't finish 2 full-fledged questions, then you're carrying a lot of burden for the last 1.5 hours. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. So 1 hour, which you're going to get exclusively focus on finishing 2 big questions, 2 full-fledged questions. Possible hai? 100% possible hai, guys. Can I continue? All right. Are you able to just picturize how you're going to attempt your law paper? All right. Because there will be a lot of writing. And after 1 hour, you will get a decent break from writing. For 20 minutes, you will just be ticking. All right. So at least those of you who've never written in your life, suddenly you will not have pressure for 3 hours to be writing. I hope I'm making sense, everyone. All right. Next. Calculator. Should I carry calculator? 1 plus 1 now is 2. But in examination, it does not appear to be 2. All right. So please carry calculator. Law paper, do we need calculator? 200% yes. Speed. Speed is not something that you're going to pick up after writing your MCQs and after 1.5 hours. If that is the case, you will come out crying, I have not completed the paper. And if you're doing this, it's a crime. It is a crime. So maintain your speed right from the first answer. Clear, everyone? Can I continue? All right. Next. Read the question twice. Now, how to read the question? We've done this exercise several times during our session. Read the last sentence first and then read the entire question. I repeat, read the last sentence first and then read the entire question. This will ensure that you get enough time on preparing and understanding at least what topic is being spoken about. Can I continue? All right. Next. Question papers. Where should I write the question numbers? No left corner, no right corner, no corners. It will be there on the top page in the middle. On the top, in the middle of the page, you're going to write your question paper, your number of the question. All right. 1A, 1B, whatever it is, in the middle of the page, you're going to write the question numbers. Clear? Now, let's go ahead. And what are we going to do for the next, I think we have another half an hour. All right. So 40 minutes that we have. Our plan is very simple. We are going to quickly look into all the important topics, and I'm going to discuss RTP of your attempt. All right. Again, whichever RTP is there. Again, I'm not going to discuss everything. I'm going to discuss the MCQ because I want to ensure each one of you clear this paper easily with the help of MCQs. With the help of MCQs, you should be able to clear the paper. If 30 marks you can get in your MCQs, you will be left with another 10 for clearing the paper. Of course, that is not our main object. Our objective is 99, but doesn't mean that you're not going to focus on your 40s as well. Here, can I continue? Now, I'll come to the RTP. Hold on. First, let's quickly get into the technical. All right. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Can I get a little energy or is it a weak?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, one of you read. All right. Or I'll do this. First point. Listen to me very carefully. Whatever I'm going to discuss is extra focus points. Very simple. Everything is important, but what I am going to discuss needs double the attention. All right. When you're preparing for your examination, ensure that you pay double the attention that when you're focusing on writing these topics or reading these topics. Am I making sense? Can I start? All right. Now, no point in reading. Anyway, I will be reading. So you just listen to me carefully instead of sitting and reading now. First thing, chapter 1, preliminary. Ensure that you spend enough time on important definitions. All right. So now what are important definitions? We have discussed during the sessions, not every definition is going to be important from your examination perspective. Only a few definitions which are very, very relevant, focus on those. Now, when should I read these definitions? You will not read the definitions as exclusively. You will read it as in when you come across in the other chapters. Example, I'm reading incorporation of companies. I have come across something called as private company. Quickly go. Chapter 1 has to be completed then and there. Am I making sense? Diksha. So what am I saying, Venkat? Suppose I'm reading incorporation. In incorporation, if I come across private company, I will go to chapter 1, quickly look into private company definition, come back to incorporation chapter. Reason being very simple. I am not going to give any exclusive time for definitions. I will be doing as and when I'm completing the other chapters. Apart from that, your chapter 1 has a couple of important pointers like applicability. Whether you like it or not, it might seem like a CA foundation question, but I've seen a couple of CA intermediate questions also revolving around applicability. Ensure that you clear all of those topics. Keep aside your definitions. Finish definitions once again whenever you come across those words in the other chapters. Here, can I continue? Next. Chapter 2. Incorporation of companies and matters incidental thereto. Section 3 to section 22. I repeat, extra focus points these are. You have to read everything, but when you're reading, ensure that you spend some additional time on these topics. First, OPC. In OPC, what is important? You have to remember what will happen in a situation where, all right, if they want to convert it into public company, private company, who can become a member, who can become a nominee? Simple to pointers, but very, very important pointers. Next, what will happen in case if the minimum number falls below or the number of members falls below minimum? Alteration of MOA and AOA. Very, very important point which you have to remember is alteration of situation clause. From one city to another city, within the city, from one state to another state, from one jurisdiction to another jurisdiction, Sutesh, all of those are covered as a part of my alterations. Next, registered office. All right. When should I have a registered office? Can I have a registered office after I start to incorporate, after my company is incorporated? All of these points within to be covered as a part of your registered office. Guys, stop fidgeting with things around and focus on screen. There's a reason why I made a presentation. Conversion of companies. All right. Another very, very important topic wherein you will have to pay some additional focus on conversion from public to private, private to public. All right. The rest is all secondary. Ensure that you spend enough time here. Illegal association. When is it going to be considered as an illegal association? Pay attention on that. All right. Section 464. Commencement of business. Just because you have got your company registered, can I commence the business immediately? Answer is no. There are two important things which have to be satisfied. Ensure that you pay attention. Guys, even if you don't know right now, it's okay. For the next 1.5 days, you will be able to recall all of it. Don't get panicked. All right, relax. Next, labeling and naming. Important. Subsidiaries holding shares in private parent company. All right, we have learned this topic very well. Can I hold? Answer is no. Are there exceptions? Whatever the exceptions are. All right, that is covered as a part of your chapter 2. Chapter 3, prospectus. I am expecting questions from prospectus this time. Reason being simple, in last 6 months, Indian stock markets have just gone haywire. All right, they have randomly, probably every Tom, Dick and Harry is coming up with an IPO or FPO. Why? Whatever the reason is. Right now, I want you to remember the topics important from examination perspective. All right. So matters to be covered in the prospectus. What all are to be covered? Types of prospectus. Variation in the terms of contract. Can I change after raising money for whatever objective I've raised? Can I change the objective? There are a couple of things which you have to seek. Commission for subscription to shares and debentures. Very, very important. Private placement. Private placement, who all are covered, who all are not covered in private placement, I want you to additionally spend some time there. All right. I repeat, even if you're not able to recall now, it's absolutely fine. Ensure that you look at it tomorrow or 1.5 days that you have. The next topic, share capital. Half the chapter is already covered in your first paper. I want you to ensure that you cover the rest of the topics here. What? Voting rights. Not everybody gets voting rights. When do preference shareholders get voting rights? And very important, differential voting rights. All right. DVRs are also important. Next, variation in the shareholders, right? Issue of shares at discount. Can I issue shares at discount or not? Preference shares, issue and redemption, transmission of securities. These are a couple of very, very important topics which you will have to focus. Now comes important topic from deposit. Sleepy?
No, sir.
Can I continue?
No, sir.
Yes.
No? All
Yes.
right, brilliant. So acceptance of deposits by companies under section 73 to 76A. Extra focus on definition. What is an eligible company? Limit on eligible company, how much can they accept? What is not covered as a deposit? And can a private company raise deposit or not? Extremely important topics. Next, charges. All right. Types of charges. Registration procedure. What will happen if not registered? All right. Consequences of non-registration. Very, very important topic. And constructive notice. Again, they ask a case study usually from charges, or rather registration of charges under constructive notice. All right. How will charge a constructive notice? That is usually asked in a case study. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Next.
Yes, sir.
Management and administration. If you do not read this chapter, then there is a major problem, because majority of the questions are asked from here. Section 88 to section 122, one of the biggest chapters in your syllabus. Not everything is important. Relax, listen to me. Register of members and foreign register is important. Make sure you know for whom is an index of register maintained. All right, or index of members in the register is maintained. For whom is it maintained? Usually they ask in MCQ questions. All right, next. What is beneficial holding? And for whom is SBO coming into picture? Maybe not too much important, but it's good to know. All right. Next. Case studies in your study material. There are plethora of case studies in this chapter. Ensure that you go through each and every case study. Notice what is that period which is called clear days, 21 clear days. Spend some time on that. Explanatory statement is going to come into picture in two scenarios. Either it is a special business or special notice. So spend some time under what is explanatory statement. What is quorum in case of public company? Based on number of members. Private company, only one limit. So ensure that you go through what is quorum. Proxy and the exceptions for proxy are important. Types of voting. Especially they ask, if you're lucky, they will ask a straight simple question. Write a short note on postal ballot. All right. Simple, straight, 3 marker, 4 marker in your hands. So ensure that you see what are types of voting. All right. Resolution. I want you to remember each and every condition of special resolution. All right. Special resolution doesn't mean only 3/4. You have to satisfy a few more conditions, only then you can proceed. First condition, it has to ensure that it is mentioned in the notice that it will be passed through a special resolution. Second, explanatory statement. Third comes your 3/4. And fourth comes your MGT. All right. Whether you remember or not, there is a form which has to be filed whenever a special resolution comes into picture. Next, AGM. Within what time limit the AGM has to be held in first AGM and subsequent AGM? Both are important. Both are important. You will see in your latest RTP, there is a question only on AGM dates. All right. Next, annual returns. Maybe if you get time, just look at it. I want you to look at it in case of annual returns. There is some topic called as DRS. All right. What is DRS? Director's responsibility statement. Please spend some time on that. If you're lucky, straight question, write a short note on DRS. Next, applicability of provisions to OPC. All right. Not everything what we have spoken about might be applicable to an OPC. So what provisions are applicable? Just focus on what are applicable, not what is applicable or what is not applicable. Focus on what is applicable. Simple as that. Next topic, dividend. There cannot be a question paper without a question on dividend. Simple topic. What are the various sources? I am telling you the question usually asked is a case study in dividend where I have losses. If I have losses, can I declare dividend or not? Can I use my reserves or not? All right. It's not a straight jacket yes or no. Please look at the condition. They usually ask a question on final dividend. If I have losses, can I use the money which is lying in the reserves and surplus for final dividend. But they can ask, in case of interim dividend also, can I use the previous quarter's reserves and surplus? So spend some time here. Next, difference in interim and final dividend. I remember last but previous attempt, there was a straight question, distinguish between final and interim dividend, 4 marks. If you are lucky, 100% straight, simple cakewalk, 4 marks. I want you to fix that chart of entire dividend declaration till IEPF in your mind. Declaration of dividend, money will go to your scheduled bank account. After that, what will happen in case if the money is not being given? It goes to an unpaid dividend account. From unpaid dividend account, it goes to IEPF. After 7 years, if continuously your dividend is not being given, not just your dividend, even the shares will move to the IEPF. There's an entire timeline along with it. Ensure that you remember the chart thoroughly. The last topic is unpaid dividend account. I want you to remember on what is unpaid dividend account, what is it about. All right, no worries, Shankar, relax. All right, next, accounts of companies. What all is covered in this accounts of companies? I want you to focus, extra focus on place for keeping books of accounts. All right, please ensure that where can I keep books of account? Can I keep it somewhere else or not? Pay some time here. All right, pay some attention here. Consolidated financials, for whom is it applicable? And there are few exceptions where CFS is not applicable. There are a few exceptions where consolidated financial statements will not come into picture. Ensure that you know those. All right. Next, reopening of books of account, revision of books of account, financial statement. All those are simple. All right. CSR has a lot of amendments. Ensure that you go through those amendments. All right. In the last 2 attempts, they haven't asked anything from the amendment because there haven't been any significant amendment in the last 1 year, I would say. But prior to that, there have been plethora of amendments. So for you, can I call it as amendment? Answer is no. It is a part of the syllabus which you've already gone through. Important. CSR, important. CSR, important. Internal audit applicability. ILCD 200, 150, 25. And in case of listed companies, it is applicable irrespective of ILCD. And in case of private company, it is only ILL. Remember the conditions? Important. Next, DRS I've already mentioned to you. Audit and auditors. Appointment of auditors, both for government and non-government, very, very important. What you are going to do is, I have already given in your CAPS material a consolidated chart, all right, about appointment, for first appointment, subsequent appointment. Ensure you know that chart at the tip of your tongue. All right, that pictorial memory has to be there in your mind. Paswa, can I continue? All right, next.
Yes, sir.
Removal of auditor. Fair enough. Most important focus point is going to be qualification and disqualification of auditors. Please pay extra attention on this topic. Next, companies incorporated outside India. Cakewalk. Please ensure that you finish off all these chotu topics today itself before you sleep. All right. I know it's already 9:30. Most of you are exhausted, but finish off 2 or 3 simple chapters right away. All right. Companies incorporated outside India. Simple. What is a foreign company? Not everything is a foreign company. There is a definition of electronic mode. There is an exclusive definition on electronic mode. Please ensure that you go through what is the definition of electronic mode. All right. Applicability of act. To whom is it applicable? What is not applicable? Couple of simple pointers are there. All right. Spend some time there. Now coming to the last chapter in your part 1, which is called LLP. Whether you like it or not, in the recent attempt, there has not been a single question paper without question on LLP. 5 marks usually they ask. 5 marks usually they ask. All right. Let's go ahead and look at what are the questions or what are the important topics. Partners and their relation. All right. Assignment and transfer of rights. There has been one question recently on assignment and transfer of rights with permission, without permission. I am a partner suppose I am a partner in an LLP. I want to give this right of partnership to Pragna, suppose, and I want to move out. Can I do so? Answer is yes. Are there certain conditions? Look at those conditions. What is it? Simple, guys. I want to move out as a partner and I want to give this partnership rights to Pragna. You guys are partners already. I want to make Pragna also an additional partner here. Possible, not possible, covered here. All right. Next, change in names. Can I go ahead and change in name? When will this question be asked? I'll tell you. Listen to me very carefully. Your name is similar or resembling to another entity or company, or similar or resembling to a copyright or a trademark which is registered. Can the other person make an application to the central government? Answer is yes. Once the central government gives the direction, you have to change your name. But can that other person come after 30, 40 years and make an application? Answer is no. There are a couple of years condition. Look at those. The last one, features of LLP and differences. Simple pointers. Please ensure that you go through. Now we are going to spend some time. Guys, comfortable till now, whatever we've done? All right. Whatever we have discussed. Can I proceed with the other laws now?
Yes, sir.
Sleepy?
Yes, sir.
Brilliant. All right. Let's go ahead now. Other laws, what are the important points which you will have to focus? All right. When it comes to General Clauses Act, please ensure you finish General Clauses Act tonight itself before you sleep. I repeat, 2 chapters which you're going to finish. All right. Companies incorporated outside India and General Clauses Act. Finish it today itself so that you can sleep peacefully with 10 marks. With, if not 10 marks, at least 8 marks, you can sleep peacefully. Am I clear, everyone? All right. Chiller topic, General Clauses Act, nothing high funda. What all are the extra focus points? What is the objective? What are the couple of definitions? They ask definition. I remember one of the attempts, them asking a question on define good faith, write a short note on affidavit. Sleepy? Next, ensure that you go through computation of time, distances, one mistake, how many penalties, provisions as to rules and made under the act. Very, very, very important, service by post. What is service by post? How do you send post? What has to be the registered post? How do you send couriers? All of that covered within the whole section. Please ensure that you go through this topic once and sleep. Next, interpretation of statutes. Extra focus on primary rules, secondary rules. What are your primary rules? If you remember, rule of harmonious construction, rule of literal construction, and all of those which we have come across. All right, reasonable construction, all of those. Next, your secondary interpretation is going to be a couple of Latin principles and which you've come across. All right, nascitere sources and all of that. Next, internal aids. In last one attempt, in the latest attempt, I haven't seen them ask this question on internal aids. There is a possibility that this time they can ask. What are internal aids? Whether preamble is useful for interpreting statute. Whether marginal notes are required for interpreting statutes. Whether should I look into proviso's explanation? What role does proviso explanation play? What is an exception to a proviso? What is an exception to an explanation? Please go through those. 3 words which you might have come across: subject to, without prejudice, and notwithstanding. Any of these 3 can come in examination. With examples, they will ask. All right. I am telling you what is relevant. All right. So pay attention while I'm talking. The last topic is FEMA. Now, listening to this topic itself, most of you get jitters. Relax. We have discussed, according to me, it's a simple topic. All right. There isn't anything high funda here. I don't want you to go ahead and break your head on each and every topic. Please ensure that you read these topics at least. Whatever I'm discussing right now, ensure that you read these topics at least. What all topics? First thing, applicability. To whom does FEMA apply? Does it apply to a non-resident in India? Does it apply to a resident outside India? You have to be aware of it. Please ensure that you spend some time on applicability. Second, who is a resident or who is a person resident outside India and who is a person resident inside India? Please note, these are only definitions. At least definitions of these topics have to be there at the tip of your tongue. Next, go through liberalized remittance scheme. All right, there is LRS, $250,000 and a couple of things which are revolving around that. Please ensure that you go through that once. Capital account transactions and permissibility. I'm not asking you to go through the current account transaction. I'm talking about capital account transaction. The list is limited compared to current account. Current account, the list is exhaustive. All right. capital account transaction, at least you will have to go through. These are couple of important topics. Please ensure that you go through these topics. Next, with this, we come to allied loss closure. If you see, guys, 3 chapters, 30 marks. Whether you read Companies Act or not, I don't care, but you cannot miss out these 3 chapters. And this is something that I've told you time and again. All right. These 3 chapters have to be there at your hands. You have to be the best at these 3 chapters because 30 marks straight away. Whichever question you attempt, you will get a question from other laws. Whichever main question you attempt, you will have one sub question from other laws. Now going ahead, case studies. Guys, while you're preparing for your exams, all right, listen to me very carefully. There are a few case studies in these topics. Open your books quickly. Quick. We are running short of time. Open. There are a few case studies in your study material, all right? I want you to go through those case studies. Usually your examination case studies will be picked up from these areas. Usually your examination case study questions will be picked up from these areas. All right. I repeat again, I'm talking about possibilities. Majority of the times, these are the areas. Now, unfortunately, if there is a question paper coming from somewhere else, then I can't help because I haven't set it. These are based on the past RTPs, MTPs that we have analyzed. We have come up with this list. Now, case study on small company and OPC. Small company and OPC. There is a case study in your study material. All right. Ensure that you go through those. You don't have to sit and search now in your study material. Where is this case study? You have to just make a note of it. You don't have so much time. Second, there are a couple of questions on interim dividend in your study material, which you might have already come across while preparing. All right. Next, question on CSR. All right. Case study on CSR. Case study on CSR. Relevant. Case study on internal audit. Relevant. Case study on section 127. Relevant. What is section 127? What is section 127? Wow. Search. All right. Search. Next. Case study on registered office. Case study on registered office. Any one of you go check what is section 127. Registered office. Case studies in your study material on deposit charges and AGM notice. When is the AGM? And by the way, these case studies are all simple pointers. Huh? They are not big case studies. These are simple one paragraph. And why I want you to go through this is because your 30 marks of MCQ, you can easily sail through with these case studies itself. Your 30 marks of MCQ usually might be picked up from these areas. That's why I want you to go through these case studies. All right. Next. Case study on charges I've already mentioned. Registered office I've already mentioned. All right. Loans granted for acquisition of shares. This is there in your share capital chapter. All right. Loans granted for acquisition of shares. Case study on private company calculation of 200. Private company calculation. Anaga. You can look at it later. Right now, just focus. All right. Case study on private company. 200 calculation, joint holders, ESOP, all of that. All right. Case study on private placement. Private placement, not the penalty, only the private placement. I want you to ensure that you go through private placement. There are a couple of case studies. QIBs are not included. Your institutional buyers are not included, and a couple of things which we have learned there. All right. Ensure that you go through those. Case study on buyback, holding subsidiary relationship, nominee, important. All right. These are important. Can I proceed?
Yes.
Your case studies on place for maintaining AGM. By the way, these are all case studies there in your study material. Huh? So these are all important topics. Next, case studies on holding of shares by the subsidiary. Can the subsidiary hold shares of a holding company? Answer is no. General principle, no. There are exceptions. There are a couple of case studies in your study material only on these topics. Next, case studies on transfer of money to unpaid dividend account and subsequent transfers, and case study on sources of funds for dividend declaration. Clear? Guys, so we have covered the entire 100 marks relevant important areas. Okay, now listen to me very carefully. What we are going to do is we will take one RTP. All right, your latest RTP I've taken up. I have just listed down from where all have they asked MCQ. All right, this is just to give you a fair idea from where all have they asked MCQ. Let's see. All right, first thing, financial statement, AGM, and special resolution. Your first question in your RTP is revolving around this itself. Financial statements, AGM, and special resolution. There is one MCQ question on partner's authority in LLP. You don't have to search right now. You just listen to me. There is one question on continuing LLP with less than 2 partners. Just like Companies Act, if you remember, minimum number is not there. I'm still continuing business. For 6 months, I will keep quiet. After that, personally liable for the debts and obligations of the company. Similar law applies in case of LLP as well. If you're continuing LLP business with less than 2 partners, you will be personally liable. All right. Next thing, disqualification of auditors. There's a question only on this. Appointment of instead of directors, it has to be auditors rather. Appointment of auditors in government company. And the last one is there's a case study on General Clauses Act. If you see, whatever important areas we've just spoken about, your MCQs are from there. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. I
Yes,
hope we are fairly okay with the entire thing. Now, I have gone through this. There's something which I want to share with you guys now. Listen to me. From where are you going to study? First big question in your mind. All right. CAPS material. I'm sure your CAPS material is having decent coverage for all the topics. All right. Don't open your study material for any topics. Of course, case studies and all we have covered in your CAPS material, but just in case if any of the topics which we have listed case study isn't there, please go ahead and look at your study material. That's absolutely fine. RTP. Should I read RTP? 200% yes. Should I read it on the date of examination? No. You will read the RTP as and when you finish the chapter. All right. Don't keep it for tomorrow. There is no tomorrow because day after tomorrow is your examination. All right. So ensure that you read the RTP, your relevant RTP. I don't want you to sit and read now 3 or 4 RTPs. You should have done that earlier. Now, if you've done that, great. If you haven't done it, now you can't do it. Your RTP, you're going to open and you're going to just read that for your attempt now. Finish the chapter and immediately after that, go ahead and look at RTP. Very important. Just in case, if there's a lot of syllabus left, possible. Ideally should not be. That just shows that you haven't planned well. But having said that, just in case if there is a lot of syllabus left, I'm not sure how many of you are aware, ICAI has something called a Saransh on their portal. All right. I repeat, this is the worst case scenario where you're not able to cover the syllabus at all. All right. And you are scared now what to do. You should not fall in that situation. According to me, you have to finish General Clauses Act, companies incorporated outside India today, keep FEMA, and your maybe 1 or 2 chapters if required. LLP, FEMA, you can keep it on the date of your examination because I understand your examination is in the afternoon, right? Yes. So you can keep LLP, interpretation of statute, and your FEMA on the last date. All right. So that at least whatever you're going to read, easily 12 marks to 14 marks, you can get it on the last day. Everything else has to happen tomorrow. Everything else. Why? Because your other laws is already done, guys. You're finishing some portion of it today and the other portion you're going to cover it day after tomorrow. So tomorrow, one full day, you're going to sit and read only Companies Act. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. Now, in Companies Act also, how do I start, sir? Start with the first chapter. Listen to me very carefully, everyone. Start with the first chapter because there's nothing there. All right. You will hardly require 10 minutes there. Second, you're going to look at prospectus, incorporation. All right. Third, you're going to pay extra focus, or rather, second one is incorporation, third one is prospectus, dividend, charges. After all this is over, all right, according to me, management and administration, you please start at around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Management administration, financial statements, auditors should be left over for your after 5 o'clock syllabus. I repeat, after 5 o'clock syllabus, if you have anything, it should be only these 3 chapters of your Companies Act. Rest, everything else has to be wrapped up by 5 o'clock. From where do you read? You're going to read from your CAPS material. I hope I'm clear, everyone. All right. Just in case now, for those of you who think, sir, not possible at all right. Listen to me very carefully. I repeat, this is the last scenario, which I would really not suggest until and unless you think there is no option at all. On your ICI portal, you have a document called as Saransh. All right. It's a 170-page document. They've done a fair job, all right, where they have tried covering each and every part of your syllabus. All right, around 168 pages they have combined, they have consolidated and given. If you ask me, I have given a syllabus, another revision material, section-wise I've given it to you. The revision material which you have is section-wise. So that itself is getting covered in some 45, 50 pages, your entire Companies Act is getting over there. But still, in case if somebody wants to refer and is not comfortable with that, you can go through this material where chapter-wise, they've given in a beautiful way or covering the entire syllabus, all the relevant and important topics in charts. All right. So if you look at it, everything is covered in charts, each and every topic that way in a chart format. But I would not suggest you to look at it because it's going to be a new material altogether. I'm not sure how many of you are going to be comfortable reading something new for the first time. I am not comfortable. I don't prefer reading something new one day before the examination. But why am I even mentioning this? Because I don't want you to later on say that, sir, there was something of this sort, I should have referred this one itself. I don't want that situation. That's why I'm keeping you posted. According to me, might not be required. Our CAPS material is sufficient, good coverage, 400, 500 pages. We have covered the entire syllabus. All right. If you see your CAPS material in 400, 500 pages, we have covered the entire syllabus. No, sir, I still want something very small. You could look at this once. All right. This is on your Saransh material. I want to take you through rather on FEMA portion. All right. So if you look at it, how they've given FEMA in a very simple 4-5 pointers that they have covered. All right. They've covered what is the preamble, what exactly is the applicability, what are the various transactions, and who is a person resident in India, person resident outside India. So all of this is covered here. I don't think anybody will be requiring this. If you still do, I have given you the source. All right. With this, if you have anything to share, please go ahead. This cost audit case study important. Yes. So maybe I might have not told everything. All right. But cost audit case study, you could look at it once because it's not applicable for everyone. It is applicable only to 1 or 2 instances. So please go ahead. Anything else? I don't want you to now unmute yourself and talk about subject, ask doubts. I will not entertain any doubts. Casually, if you want to vent out, sir, there's so much, how do I cover and all of that. If you want to talk, please go ahead, talk. If I can be of any use, I will give you advice. Let me do this for each one of you now. Majority of you are sitting with this thought, how will I be able to cover so much syllabus in 1.5 days? All right. Simple. 2 chapters before sleeping. Possible, 100% possible, guys. It's still 9:30, by 10:30 you can wrap up. All right. What are those 2 chapters? One, company incorporated outside India, and General Clauses Act. These 2 chapters you can peacefully wrap up because you're not reading this for the first time. You're going to be reading a revision. It is supposed to be revision, so revision has to get done ASAP. Day after tomorrow, you're going to keep 3 topics: LLP, General Clauses Act, all right, and FEMA. If possible, try wrapping up General Clauses Act tomorrow when you're just not General Clauses Act, rather interpretation of statute. All right. Tomorrow, in case between Companies Act, if you want a break, then you can cover interpretation of statutes tomorrow itself. All right. So that day after tomorrow, you'll be left with only 2 topics. Don't keep too much syllabus for day after tomorrow, or else you're going to be in a problem. Your examination is at 2 o'clock. That means by 12 o'clock, you will have to leave. 2 o'clock, right? Your examination is at, all right?
Yes.
So
1:45.
I'm sorry. Okay, 1:45. So don't give yourself any time more than 11:30. Till 11:30, you will have time to wrap up everything that you have. After that, you will not have time to study because you'll have to travel, you'll have to get ready, and blah 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 blah. Tomorrow, you will have to sit and finish the entire Companies Act. Is there an option? Answer is no. All right. My sincere suggestion: how to go ahead. The first 15 minutes when you get, guys, the 15 minutes which you get, ensure that you have read the entire question paper except for MCQs. Why? By default, you will have to read that and write. All right. There's no option in MCQ. I hope I'm clear, everyone. There in the session. All right. Majority of the MCQs will not have any option to select a question within the MCQ itself. You will have to attempt all the MCQs. So even if you don't read all the MCQs, I'm okay with it. But ensure that all the descriptive questions you've read and you've decided which descriptive question you're going to leave as an option. This decision has to be taken in the first 15 minutes. Your reading time. Am I making sense, everyone? All right. And you're going to start writing your first best answer, descriptive answer in the first hour. All right. Your first 2 best descriptive questions which you know, you're going to write in the first 1 hour. With this, you would have covered approximately 32 marks. All right. Yes. There in the session. Now,
Yes, sir.
once you're done with this 30 marks, 1 hour, 20 minutes. All right. That additional 20 minutes will be for your MCQ. Don't keep MCQ for the last hour. You will end up selecting inappropriate answers because of the hurry. All right. Give yourself enough 20 minutes. Even if it is 20 or 25 minutes, it's okay. No problem. All right. Worth it. It's an investment because 30 marks you're going to get straight away. All right. So even if you think by giving extra 5 marks, 5 minutes, I'll end up securing good number of marks, please proceed. Absolutely fine. By 1 hour, 30 minutes, you would have already finished your examination for 50 to 52 marks. You are left with another 1.5 hour. You would be left with another 3 questions to attempt. 2 questions, if I'm not wrong, right? How many questions are you supposed to write descriptive?
5.
5, right? So
5.
you will have 1.5 hour for writing 3 descriptive questions. Peacefully, you can cover half an hour for each descriptive question. Peacefully, you will be able to wrap up the answers. My suggestion, if you think the first 15 minutes, if you think, sir, I don't know head and tail in this entire question paper, all right, it's absolutely fine. You will still sit for entire 3 hours, write whatever you've understood, whatever you can remember during the session we would have discussed, you would have read something, absolutely fine. Listen to me very carefully. In a situation where you think it's a hopeless situation where you're not able to recall anything, keep your pens down, close your eyes, breathe in for 7 times. All right. It has to be deep breath that'll just keep you calm. All right. And what you're going to do is a small change. Just close your right nostril. All right. Close your right nostril and deep breath. With this, your entire parasympathetic nervous system gets calmed down. I repeat, there's something called a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Let's not get into all of that. It'll just calm down your entire stress. I am assured of each one of you here will be able to sail through the paper with absolutely great marks. I know I've seen personally each one of you during the session. Now, when somebody else who doesn't even know you personally so much is having so much confidence in you, why don't you start trusting yourself? All right. Please trust yourself. Trust your efforts. You've done a fair job, how much ever you could do. You've done a great job. Next 1.5 days, give your best and clear this paper. You will clear this paper. I am assuring you, you will clear this paper. Just that 1.5 day, you're going to use this judiciously. With this, I come to an end, guys. If you have anything else to ask, say, please proceed. Nothing? I see a couple of faces absolutely stressed. Why is it so? I don't know. Either you're sleepy or stressed, I don't know. You see what works for you. Pragna, relax. All right. Tanmay, there in the session. Baswa, Bharat, Nikhil, there. Relax.
Yeah.
It's just another paper. You've been writing examination since your kindergarten. All right. It is just another BCom examination which you're going to clear. Chill. Go with this mindset. You will clear the paper. All right. Stop giving more than what this examination deserves your attention. Relax. Chill. You will clear the paper. I come to an end. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Sir.